Hold it, Rose. I'm about to spill some tea. Some plus size tea.
Hey, T-Bags, it's me, dear Rose. Welcome to Plus Size Tea with me. I hope everybody enjoyed their Memorial weekend. Some of us had 4-day weekends, some of us had 3, some of us had none. But all in all, I hope you all got a chance to relax or celebrate with your families or go to the beach or whatever you chose to do on this weekend. And again, we salute our troops. Across all military branches, male and female, for your continued services protecting us here in beloved United States of America. And for those fallen soldiers and POWs, our love goes out to your families. We do thank you for your service. Okay. Oh my God. So I have some couple of things to report far as national news. And then in the end, I'll get to the gossip. Okay. So, again, if you're just tuning in and you're new to my channel, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you can always know when I'm on. I normally do my shows on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, unless something comes up or it's a holiday or some hot tea to spill before the days that I come on YouTube channel. And also I have a Spotify channel where I do more of a motivation, life's journey type of podcast. Same name, Plus Size Tea with Dear Rose, on Spotify and Anchor. Okay, let's get started. All right, so I have 2 very, very sad stories I'm going to bring at the beginning of top of the hour today. I'm going to start with a Florida shooting that took place, and it was reported by the Daily News. As you can see in the thumbnail, the picture of the father. A father of shooting victim interrupts press conference after deadly Florida shooting. Deadly Florida shooting. I have my glasses on today. Barely 24 hours after his son was shot and killed outside a banquet hall in South Florida, Clayton Dillard tearfully, publicly pleaded for answers. Dillard, whose son Clayton Dillard III was killed early Sunday morning in the fatal shooting, interrupted a press conference Monday condemning the gunman who killed my child. He was yelling, "You killed my child, you killed my son," over and over. That's the pain that affects our community right there, Miami-Dade Police Director Freddie Ramirez said as Dillard was escorted away. It's a sad picture if you all haven't seen it. It's in my thumbnail, and you can also Google the caption through Daily News. Clayton Dillard's son was fatally shot outside the hall on Sunday. 2 people were killed, at least 20 others were injured Sunday when 3 gunmen opened fire outside an event hall in Hialeah around 1 a.m., where a concert was just letting out. 3 people are still in critical condition, officials said Monday, and 3 have been released from the hospital, including a 17-year-old who was shot in the leg. More than 100 spent bullet casings were found at the scene, but police are working to determine how many people in the crowd fired back. Police are also released surveillance video Monday that shows 3 men dressed almost entirely in black got out of a white SUV with what appears to be an alley. They run to the foreground and then a few seconds later run back to the car, jump in, and speeds off. County Commissioner Keon Hardman called the shooting as well another weekend drive-by shooting in Wynwood, acts of domestic terrorism. Police said Monday that they believe the shooting may have been part of an ongoing rivalry. Miami-Dade police investigators near the shell casing evidence markers counted over 100 shell casings. Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava said Monday that local, state, and federal authorities, including the FBI, are working around the clock on the investigation. Camping World CEO and the Prophet host Marcus Leonimus, who was raised in Miami, publicly offered a $100,000 reward for the arrest and conviction of the suspects. And the Miami Division of Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives offered an additional $25,000 reward for the arrest of the alleged gunmen that were spotted on camera. That is a sad, sad situation. It sounds like they want to try to put it on some type of a rivalry. They didn't say gang rivalry, so we're not sure what rivalry, what they mean by that. But this father is hurt. You can see him crying out to beg as he interrupts the news commentator that was out there describing the crime scene. And he cries out, "You killed my son. You killed my son." And I can just imagine the pain that he feels. I have two sons myself. This was a senseless killing. Many, many were injured. Many more could have died. It's sad. My heart goes out to his family, his loved ones, those that loved him. He was a young boy. We're losing so much of our youth to gun violence amongst each other and also by the hands of the police. And we have to do something about this violence. I don't know if it is due to COVID fatigue. As I said, I'm always putting everything on COVID fatigue because it plays a part. They said it was some type of a rivalry. They may have knew each other. They didn't say anything about being gang related or anything like that. So what type of rivalry, I'm not sure. But nothing could take away the pain that these families feels for their injured and for the fatal shooting of their son and for all the others that were injured and those that were involved. I don't know if stricter gun laws will even touch the underground selling of illegal firearms from coast to coast. I don't think stricter gun laws will stop the illegal sales. And that's what we really need to try to work on. Okay, so legislation may pass some harder or stricter gun laws, but what about the illegal trading and selling of the guns? Off the on a black market. That's where the youth are getting these illegal firearms. That's where the even law-abiding citizens are buying illegal firearms underground on off black market. I mean, it's not just all criminals. There are some people that are buying the firearms to protect themselves. So, how are you going to stop the firearms from being sold, underground black market? And that's where these deaths are coming from. They are coming from these black market sales of illegal firearms, and these children are getting hold to them. They think it's a video. They think it's something they seen on television. You could just shoot a human being, and there's no loss of life. In these videos, they get up and they start all over again. But these are real human lives, and these people have families. And this man is mourning the loss of his son. And my heart really truly goes out to him. Again, I hope they do find the assailants. I've never seen such a large reward being offered, especially by um, uh, alcohol and firearm um, bureau, and then also another agency is offering another 25,000. So that's $125,000 being offered for the reward for these suspects to be found. And with that type of money being offered, oh, they will be turned in. Trust me. They will be found and turned in, or if anybody knows anything about it, they will be turned in because that is a lot of money. Okay. So I'm sure that there are people, vigilantes, looking out for the SUV, the white SUV. And if there's any type of descriptions of these guys other than, what they've shown, they're going to find them out for sure. So hopefully they will be caught and brought to justice. And allegedly, you have to try a person to be found guilty, but you understand what I mean. All right, so we're going to move on to the next story, which is just as sad today, guys. Just so much death is all around us. The next story is another tragic story as well. Another life of another young man. Um, little Lil Loaded, 20 years old, had a hit uh, cut that went gold in 2019. Um, I'm going to read a little bit about what's going on with him, and then we'll go in more into detail. The Instagram post that was posted by Daily News says, "Forgive me." Is the final Instagram post of rapper Lil Loaded, 20 years old, before he was found dead at home one day before his manslaughter hearing for fatal shooter of his best friend. Lil Loaded, whose legal name is Deshaun Robertson, died on Monday. The Dallas County Medical Examiner confirmed no cause of death has been given so far. Loaded was known for the 2019 hit Glock Baby, which went gold this past week. Robertson was indicted in February for manslaughter in the shooting of his friend Khalil Walker, 18. He was scheduled to appear before court for an admonishment hearing Tuesday. In final post, he said he was ready for my heart and soul to join God. Oh my goodness. Rapper Lil Loaded said he was ready for his heart and soul to join God in a heartbreaking final Instagram post hours before his death. He was only 20 years old. Um, the Texas star, whose legal name again is Deshaun Robertson, was facing a manslaughter charge for shooting death of his friend Khalil Walker, 18, in October 2020 and was due in court for an admonishment hearing in Dallas on Tuesday, according to court records. The medical examiner, again, has not specified the cause of death. Hours before his death on Monday, the musician posted a heartfelt message in which he asked God for forgiveness. He wrote, "Dear Most High, please forgive me for my shortcomings and all the times I felt short of making you proud and being appreciative of the blessings that have been put in my life. Sometimes the lines are blurred between being solid and being heartless. I want to thank you for how far I've come and the people you put in my life to keep me grounded and humble through everything, and I love every single one of those people that are genuinely for me, and I ask for interest into your kingdom through all of my mistakes. And I know you love all your children, and I'm ready for my heart and soul to join you." It kind of sounds like a suicide note. Um, it's not clear when the story was posted. XLL reported, but it has since disappeared. Robinson is best known for his 2019 again Glock Baby, which was certified gold by the Recording Industry Association of America last week. Um, he had his whole life ahead of him. Robinson had originally been charged with killing his one of his best friends, Khalil Walker, but in March was indicted on a lesser charge of manslaughter. His attorney, Ashkan Marihi, argued that there was no malice behind the shooting, according to um, him. He told the Morning News that the Wednesday court hearing was just an admonishment hearing and had not been troubling the rapper. Robinson accidentally or allegedly shot Walker in the stomach with a rifle, police reported, and then drove his friend to the hospital where he died from the injury. Police said there was a video on Walker's phone of the shooting. Robinson turned himself in 15 days after the shooting and posted on Instagram his mugshot with the caption, "I appreciate all y'all support. They try to make you look guilty when you innocent. Regardless, we going to get past this. Rest in peace, my brother. I love you." Evidently it was an accident because Lil Loaded took his friend to the ER, to get help, and he died from his wounds there. His attorney also said that Robert's death was very tragic and unexpected. He said he had very bright and promising music career ahead of him. Stanley Garbert, whose production company worked with the star's label, said this kid was on a great path. He was struggling with some things we wish we would have known about. We wish we could have intervened. Hip hop fans' social media accounts expressed their condolences over the death. The Dallas rapper Lil Loaded, 20 years old, but his death is still not yet determined the cause of death. Another tragic, another tragedy of a young black man, 20 years old with his whole life ahead of him, and that of the same age as the uh, victim that was shot in the Florida case by some rivals. I mean, just within a day of each other. It's just so sad to have to report on these types of things, but we have to talk about them. If it's not gun violence going on, amongst our culture, and then if it's not police brutality. Now, this is a different take on gun violence. He accidentally shot allegedly his best friend. He made sure he aided him and took him to the hospital, but he died of his injuries. And then it sounds as if this young man took his life because of the grief, probably stricken, where he killed his best friend. So you allegedly, and you could just imagine the guilt. That he was trying to live his life. He was trying to go on and with his career and everything. But I just imagine his best friend was supposed to probably been there with him, to enjoy his fame and his good fortune. And things like this happen. We have to be very careful, guys, playing with guns, our youth. We have to keep those safety. I think they give you the kits when you purchase guns, when you purchase them the correct way. There's these locks that you put on them. I don't know how he even got his hand on a rifle. I don't know if they were having a video. They do these strange videos and they do these tricks and these stunts and these dares and things like that, young people. And things that you should not try at home. And I hope that his parents get some answers. And my condolences go out to the victim, the Walker family, and my condolences goes out to Lil Loaded's family as well. It is so tragic and sad to hear things like this. Again, what could past laws and legislation do for gun control for these two situations? Two totally different situations. Again, the guns that were purchased or the guns that were being handled by these two different cases were not probably guns that were purchased over the counter or were purchased legally. These are black market, under the table, in the back alley gun sales. That's how they acquire these firearms. And again, the only help that the legislation passing stricter gun laws will do is maybe put a tighter ring on legal gun purchases. But what about this black market stuff? How are you going to keep the illegal guns and firearms out of the hands of our youth so they can stop killing each other, accidentally shooting each other, making these videos and different things and playing these vigilante games and stuff with each other like they see on, television and stuff like that? I'm not blaming any other source other than these guns are sold black market. They're sold under the table in the back of magazines and stuff like that. Or somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. That's how they're getting these firearms. So what type of legislation would help that? This is senseless killing, and it needs to be regulated. It needs to be stopped. We have to. How are we going to keep our youth from being killed with by passing a stricter gun law when they are purchasing the guns illegally? That's not going to help the death rate. That's not going to help our youth. We got to come up with something else. We have to. We have to put our heads together and come up with something else. God only knows, if I was to investigate and go deeper, how many youths, no matter what color or culture, have been killed by guns, illegal guns. Okay? Illegal guns. So, again, my prayers go out to the families, and it's just a sad situation. It's just a sad time. It's a sad time all around. Okay, so the next story I'm going to bring you is a show I've been watching on VH1. I love the shows that they bring us on VH1. The entertainment is really good. So I watched Couple Therapy and Couples Retreat, VH1's Couples Retreat, and it has a lot of the Love and Hip Hop franchise couples come to this retreat to get some rest, relaxation, and resolution to their marital issues. So the couples we have are Kirk and Rashida. They're our oldest couple, been married 20 some odd years. And then you have Yandy and Mandisi. Then you have Michael Blackston and RADA. They're not married. They've just been in a relationship for plus a couple of years. And then you have Delicious from the Flavor of Love franchise. She married one of the Central Park guys that was exonerated from the murder, the rape of alleged victim in the Central Park fiasco they had years and years ago. And then you have Ray J and Princess Love, of course, from the Love and Hip Hop franchise as well. I think I got all the couples. I want to start off first talking about Kurt and Rashida, since they're the oldest couple. Kurt and Rashida have really grown a lot from the last couple of episodes of Love and Hip Hop. Of course, Kurt had this major affair. A baby ended up coming. What I like about Kirk and Rashida's relationship on this particular show is that the relaxation now that they have this comfort, this comfortability, if that's a word, that I see between Kirk and Rashida. You can tell that they have really resolved their issues. You can tell that Rashida and Kirk have forgiven each other, that they are partners. They are back strong, that she has forgiven him, and that they're moving on and moving past it. And she's believing him. She's back trusting Kurt that he's done with his cheating, and he's done with, being disrespectful to their union. And he has a child out of this that Rashida accepted, like as many women do. When our spouses or our mates go out and have unprotected sex with a third party, and then a child occurs. Now, we all know the child has nothing to do with the infidelity. They don't ask to come here. So she put her big girl panties on and she womaned up and she accepted the child. We all saw that. They showed that part of their storyline. A lot of people said it was fake, but it was not fake. And he had the child and she accepted it and she forgave him and they've moved on. They are life partners. They are partners in business. They're partners in marriage, and they parent several children. Some he had prior to their union, and then some they have together. And they're just like any other couple, other than they're just in the spotlight, and they working through it. A lot of couples couldn't even get this far as Kurt and Rashida has. A lot of couples, this would destroy them. But even them being in the spotlight has made them hold on to the love that they have for one another and the respect that they have for one another. They've been together 20 plus odd years, and I guess they counted up the cost. Like, what would it be for us to give up now? It wouldn't make any sense. And I am so proud of Kirk and Rashida that they even worked through their issues. Because again, a lot of couples do not make it this far with that type of infidelity with a child, and that wasn't his only affair. He was wilding out, strip clubs, side bitches everywhere. It's just a lot. So I'm so glad that they worked their issues out, and you can see on the couples retreat show that they had a few things still to iron out. You could tell she's kind of, making sure that she reiterates that no more cheating. That's a deal breaker for her. She's not going to go through any more bouts of infidelity with her. He's too old. He's too old for that, and they have so much to lose. Okay, so kudos to them. Now let's move on to Yandy and Mandisi. We all know that Mandisi had to spend like 4.5, close to 5 years in prison for some things he done in his past. And while he was away, Yandy blew up. Yandy's a boss. She's a businesswoman, and she ran the empire while he was gone, and she handled everything. She's on Instagram. Every time you turn around, she's on Instagram, sponsoring somebody's clothes or eyeglasses or eyes or face cream or something, making that money to make sure she took care of him while he was locked up, and those children, and his outside children that weren't hers, because that's the type of woman she is. She's a boss. So Mandisi comes home to this bossed up wife, you know, and I don't think he can handle her independence. Not that she wasn't independent before he went away, but she had to boss up even more because she had to carry him and she had to carry the family. So she wants to feel she wants him to validate her, and she wants him to show her love and respect, and that he appreciated how she held him down while he was locked up, and how she held the family down while he was away. But on the other side, he wants the same from her. I think he feels inadequate. I think he feels out of place. I think he feels like he's not contributing enough to her. And she said to him, I think he feels like I'm going to leave him. And he said, no, that's not true. But he got up and walked away. So I think she rubbed him. I think she picked him. I think she pulled his whole card. I think he feels inadequate. But she says she loves him. She loves the man that he's become. So I see him on Instagram now too, and all the sponsored clothes and tennis shoes and cars and all of that. And she making sure he makes it. She's never going to emasculate Mandisi. That's the type of woman that Yandy is. She's not going to emasculate her husband. She's going to make sure her husband bosses up. He's just going to have to make his money a different way. And she's going to show him how to make it the legal way, the right way. And they'll be a wonderful power couple. As long as he doesn't let his ego bother him about Yandy being a little bit more aggressive business-wise than he is. You know what I'm saying? She's going to make sure they eat. She's going to make sure things is good. I think she knows her lane, and I think she knows right now she got to carry the family right now. But I know she wants to pass the torch off to Mandisi. Every woman wants to sit back and their husband lead. We don't always want to lead, guys. Black men always blame us for, oh, she bossy, she this, she that. But we have to boss up for where y'all slack off at. You might end up going to jail. Your job might not be as good as ours. You might not get a chance to go get your education the way we had to. So we making more money, and we got to be and we have to take that role of being the head of the household and running the household. It may seem like we being bossy, but all we doing is stepping up and doing our part. So that's what Yandy is doing in this relationship, and I think it intimidates Mandisi a lot. So, but anyway, he said he wants to feel appreciated too. She said she wants her door open, her chair pulled out, some bath water ran. She wants some roses. She wants to take a break, but she knows that she has to equip Mandisi with the right skills in this type of business that they're in for him to be able to make the money, for him to be able to take the lead so that she can fall back. Because that's what you're supposed to do. It's for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, to death do you part. So if you got to withhold your man up or vice versa, that's what it is. And that's what she's doing. I think they're doing a great job. I think he is, I think this last stint in prison grew him up. I think he knows there's nothing out in the streets for him. And I think he gonna man up and he gonna do what he need to do. He got 4 kids. And I think he's going, and they have that adopted daughter that Yandy adopted and taken care of. I think she's an adult now, but anyway. So you might as well say they got 4.5 children. And I think Mandisa is going to do very well as long as he doesn't allow his ego to make him feel inferior to Yandy's bossness, to her independence. You know, I think they'll do great. Okay, so moving on to Michael Blackstone and RADA. They are in one of the craziest entanglements I've ever heard of in my life. But okay, so Michael and RADA's relationship is open. They have an open relationship. They bring other people into their bedroom, not in their relationship per se, meaning their personal relationship, but in their bedroom sexually. He likes to have more than one woman in a sexual experience. And he explained that because when they first moved here to the United States, when he was about 13, 14 years old, he said it was in the light skin era. Plus he had an accent. He was from Africa. And he said he knows he wasn't that good looking, So he said he got called all the black this and all that. And he said he didn't date a lot. He didn't get a chance to, date a lot of women. So he said that now it's a fetish for him to have as many chicks as he want in his bed. He makes the money. He's Michael Blackson. He's this big time comedian, and he can have any kind of woman he want, any color, nationality, size, or whatever. And he says that he uses his fame to sleep with the women because that's something that he couldn't do when he was younger. So RADA is a mother. She says she's a mother, and he has not yet to even meet her children. But she is wanting to get serious with Michael, and she wants him to kind of cut back on the side bitches, as so they call them. So him and her announced that RADA is pregnant, so that the dynamics of their relationship is going to have to change. She's pregnant. He's agreed to cut back. She said that they don't have to cut it completely out. They can do it maybe a couple of times a year, have those, extra, those menage a trois or whatever. But she would much prefer that he, cut back. She wants to get married. She wants him to meet her children. He wants her to move in with him. And she says she's not going to do it unless he commits to her. So now that she's pregnant, she's having his child, everything's going to change. And he said he will slowly, gradually give up the women. I think the baby, once the baby comes, that Michael will change. He seems like he's a showboat type of guy. And I think a lot of his scenes on Couples Retreat was for the camera. But when she talked about being pregnant, I could tell his facial expression changed. You could tell his body language was different. I think he takes it really serious that RADA is now pregnant. I believe he really is going to change his ways, because just like Kurt told him, all them women, that stuff gets old. Strip clubs, that stuff get old. If you don't slept with one side bitch, you don't slept with another one. It ain't no different, If you got somebody that got your back, you better, stick with that person. So I believe that Michael will change his ways once the baby comes and see how important RADA is to him, and that he don't want to lose her her love and respect. She respects him. She understands his fetish or his fantasy that he likes to sleep with several women or whatever. She understands that she even partakes herself. So it's not that he's been very, very honest with her. He said that's the first woman he's ever been honest with. He said every woman he's ever been with his whole life, he's always lied. He's always lied to about these side women, about this fetish, about these sexual fantasies and stuff that he has about being with a lot of women. He said so when he met RADA, he was honest with her. And that's one thing that we like. And a lot of men don't understand is give us the opportunity to say, yeah, I want to stay in, or no. Like if you be upfront and you be honest with us, then it might not be a deal breaker for us. But if you're gonna lie, just lie. I mean, we lose trust, we lose all respect for you, and it makes things harder. Instead of you telling us the truth and giving us the option to say yay or nay, giving us the option to have the chance to think about what you're doing, how you're doing it, the way you say you're doing it, and giving us an option to say whether we want to stay in a relationship or not. So I can't give him the respect of that he let Rada know what was up. She partook. She didn't mind being. I guess she's bisexual, so she didn't mind being in the bed with him and the other women, and it worked out just fine. Now they have this. They have a very good relationship. The only thing is that sexually he has a fetish for other women, but their relationship is like solid because he's not lying to her. Lies mess up everything. Lies, it gets you nowhere. Okay. So I think they're gonna do well if once Rada has the baby, I believe that Michael ways will totally change. I don't know if he will ever give up all the women, but maybe once she has the baby, he'll see, again how important she is to him and that she's all he needs because eventually she is going to feel that way. She's already a mother, but she's getting older, and I know eventually she's going to be like, oh my god, you have to keep having these women. So that'll probably be the next obstacle they'll have to get over, but for now I think they're cool. I really do like their relationship. Okay, so Delicious, and I'm gonna call him Central Park. His name is Raymond, but I'm gonna call him Central Park guy. Okay, so he says he got out in 2003. He has a 17-year-old daughter, and he was married before Delicious. Because I was thinking that she was the first woman he talked to once he got out from being falsely accused of raping the lady in Central Park in New York. But he told his story. He had been out prior and been married. Okay, so that I kind of breathe a sigh of relief on that. So Delicious's issue with him is a couple of things. Sexually, she said it's not as hot and heavy as it was when they first met, and she wants him to take the lead again. Another take the lead situation. She said he lost his mother. He went to prison when he was 14, and then he lost his mother in between the time before he got out. And he likes to be mothered, and she says she doesn't want to be his mother. She wants to be his wife. And she has a daughter at home. She's been divorced for like 10 years. So she said when she married him, she was looking for this man to, take charge or take lead. And she wanted to be able to breathe and not have to be the head of the house again. But she ends up with this. I'm not gonna call him wimp. I'm not gonna say he henpecked. She ended up with this beta. He's not an alpha, he's a beta. And now she has to mother him, and she said he even wants her to praise him if he takes out the trash. I mean, what? Okay, so I'm gonna just be honest about how I feel about him. Okay, I'm not trying to emasculate him or anything. You know, he went to prison when he was 14 years old. He was in there a very long time. He got out in 2003. Yes, he did get married. He had a daughter, 17. I can see. Okay, so he had this fantasy about Delicious, because back then Flavor Flav was out and all that. Da, 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 da. All right, so he manifested it. He got her. How I believe he got it was they awarded them millions and millions of dollars for the false accusation before for them being falsely in prison. They were awarded millions of dollars. Okay, first of all, I'm not trying to be funny, but I believe when she explained the part that she was ready to be taken care of and she was tired of being the head of the household. She had been divorced 10 years and she could take care of her and her daughter for all this time. Okay, I think she saw ching ching. She saw money. She saw opportunity. She saw a beta dude that she could use her sexuality and her body, and she got him. I believe that. I mean, money don't buy you love, but It could buy you something that look like it. So they did this whirlwind trip to Mexico and all these different places, and she set them up. And of course, he dreamed about her during the time he was in prison. You know, he told her how he was in love with her, you know, her character on Flavor Flav and all of this and this and that. So he got this fantasy woman and all this money, and she see all this money, and she knows she's a lot of men's fantasy, and she gave him fantasy. She gave him delicious. She gave him everything that he could just imagine. And when the when the novelty wore off, she got this wimpy dude or this beta man that needs pampering, mothering, you know, that's been in prison all these years. You don't know what they say, what go on in prison, stay in prison. So I know she's not naive to the fact that something, you know, okay, that he, all right, you know, I don't want to be, you know, this man spent a lot of time in prison. Okay. So I'm not saying anything that's nobody else have probably thought of. All right. So you want to turn this man into this alpha. So her every time she would do her sessions with AJ, her and him, she wanted him to be the man. She wanted him to take over sexually. She's tired of being aggressive in bed. She's tired of being the man in the relationship, the man in the household. She wants him to be a man. And he wants to be babied up and petted up and all that kind of stuff, and pampered and all of that. Girl, bye. Ain't nobody got time for that. This is 2021, nigga. You better get your fat ass up and do what you're supposed to do. Okay? Now, I done gave you my sex, you know, she done gave him all the fantasy that he could hold. So I don't see her being satisfied with him. And now a lot of people should know money doesn't cure all. I guess she see he got the money and all that, but he is nowhere near the type of man that she deserves, or he is nowhere near the type of man that will fulfill her. And I don't think their relationship is gonna work. I'm just saying. I don't think it's gonna last much longer. If she hang in there, it'll be just because he, you know, that's security for her and her daughter. Well, she gonna cheat. She wants somebody to slap her on her ass and throw her around and yank her by her hair. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't know how long that's gonna last right now before she cheats, before she gets her a mandingo bug. You know, somebody that's rough and tough, a thug, a roughneck. You know, but wealthy because she wants to be taken care of. So maybe she'll get something out of this. I don't know. But he's rich. He has millions. He's a millionaire. She's a millionairess right now. And I rate she's trying to do everything she can to make it work. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her. She's doing everything she can. Oh, she was rubbing on his titties. He got titties almost big as hers. And she was massaging him and this and that. And she was trying to make it sexy. And it has nothing to do with his size or anything like that. I'm just saying, I don't feel the connection. I don't feel the connection between them. I don't feel the love or I think it was a fantasy for him. And I think she saw dollar signs. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. So good luck to them. I hope him and Delicious, you know, can work things out, or they could come to an amicable settlement into the divorce. I hope she could get like enough money to take care of herself until she can find her somebody that, you know, that's worthy of her, that she really loves. And I hope she's learned her lesson. If she did marry him for money, that money is not the, you know, it's not the end all be all. It does not solve it. It don't buy love, anything. It don't make you stay with the person. None of that. So the last couple is Ray J and Princess Love. This is the couple that I feel the saddest for. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna start with Princess first, and then I'll say Ray J for last. Okay, so Princess, she's not doing anything wrong. The only thing going on with Princess is the man she thought Ray J was that she married, he's not him. You know, he's had bouts of infidelity. He's cheated on her. He's disrespected her. Um, publicly. I don't know what that is, other than immaturity. She's had two children with him. She married him. She knew what she was getting before she married him. So I can't say like he fooled her or anything. Other than that they both were young. I don't know if she was marrying the Ray J persona, or that it was because it was Ray J. I don't know. I know I heard him say, you're the mother of my children. I love you. That's why I married you, because I knew you would be a good mom. You're strong. You don't take no BS, stuff like that. Those are the kind of things he was saying to her. And she didn't like the things that he said, the reason why he was with her. She wanted to hear, I love you, da 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 da. And he wasn't saying those things. Everything was mostly based around the children. So I think she's lost a lot of respect for Ray J. I think she doesn't trust him anymore to lead her. And I kind of feel what she's going through when your mate or your husband does the same thing over and over again, and it kills that trust. You can't trust him to lead you or your family. Like, she just doesn't trust him, so she doesn't respect him anymore. So she says things fly out of her mouth that emasculates him, and then that causes like this big eruption between Princess and Ray J. And only thing is about that is that their communication is not good. All she can go by is what she saw growing up, which she comes from a broken home. Ray J comes from a two-parent home, but his mother was gone all the time with Brandy on the road. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Lord forgive me if I'm wrong, I think his father had an outside child while Brandy and her mom was on the road for Brandy's career. So Ray J is probably only emulating what he saw his father do. I don't think maybe his father didn't treat his mom that way, but she is a tough bird. To me, he married his mama. To me, Princess kind of acts like her a little bit. It's probably why they don't get along. But anyway, she's not as nasty as his mother is, but I'm sure she's a sweet lady though. But you know what I mean. She's a shrewd businesswoman. But so all Princess is doing is, love me. Why you don't love me? I had your children, I married you, I put up with your cheating. Ray J, what is it? What is it? And she nagging him and fussing, and where you at? And how come you leave me home all several weeks and all night long and all this kind of stuff like this? And she's not understanding like why she's not enough for Ray J. So she's hanging in there hard as she can. I believe she really wants her marriage. I believe she really loves him, but she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know what to do for Ray J. You know what I'm saying? So she's lost right now. All she do is cry. She cried the whole show. They stayed mad the whole show. Some of the exercises they didn't even do. They was mad. Okay, so Ray J I saw something in him. I watched him. I intentionally watched him. He can't even look Princess Love in her eyes. It's something he's carrying really heavy, and it has nothing to do with Princess. And the only reason why he's mistreating her this way is not because he don't love her. It's just he has this displaced pain or some kind of displaced anger, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I might get killed for it or whatever, but I'm gonna just go in. Okay, so I think Ray J's issue is not that he doesn't love Princess. She is the mother of his two children. He did marry her. But it's either two things going on with Ray J. It's either Kim Kardashian or Whitney. Okay? It's either Kim Kardashian or Whitney that's going on with Ray J. That's what I believe. When at the end of this episode, when they had to write on the balloon something to release so that they would never go back over it or whatever, Ray J wrote the pain. The pain. And I believe a lot of Ray J's wilding out and not coming home and acting like he ain't got no sense. He's a good business guy. He has a lot of businesses. He's doing well for himself. So it's not that he's not mature in business, because their mother taught them how to be, to take care of their business. So I don't think it's that. It's personal issues. He can't go to Princess Love and tell her, I'm hurting over something that happened with Whitney and I, or I'm hurting over Kim. He can't tell her that. She wouldn't understand it. she wouldn't understand the pain that he's going through, that he's dealing with over Whitney's death and over Kim Kardashian. And I believe that the Whitney thing is much more deeper with Ray J than we know. We all know rumors allegedly that he was there a few hours before she passed. We don't know what their real relationship was. It was rumored, allegedly, that they had something going on, or that they always hung out together, or they were getting high together, allegedly, or whatever. The woman died all of a sudden, allegedly, in his while he was there or throughout, don't you know that if he knows something more than the press knows or any other people knows, that this is bothering him? And Princess can't heal that type of pain. It's not her fault. He's just acting out. And if he really is, if Kim Kardashian was really his real true love, we all know how men do. All men have a woman that they pine over, that that got away, or they should have, or they're always thinking of they can marry, have 1,000 children and everything, and they mind still be on that same woman. That's how men are. If you really know men, if you really study men. Now Kim just got divorced. I'm not putting it out in the atmosphere. I don't know if Kim would go back to Ray J like J Lo back dating Ben Affleck. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Because he hurrying up trying to divorce the princess, and they keep bringing him on all these shows. Of course, this makes them money. This makes them money to go do these types of shows to get back together and all this kind of stuff like that. But it's dragging it out and dragging it out and dragging it out. Now, I ain't saying him and Kim gonna get back together, but I really do believe that he loved Kim. But that Whitney death is where the pain coming from. And he's not gonna go talk to somebody about it because they can expose him. He gonna have to go to Jesus. He gonna have to go to Jesus and tell Jesus about it. And Jesus is gonna have to heal his pain about Whitney. And I don't know what he gonna do about Kim. She's single now. He might have to call her back up. I don't know. But I don't think nothing's gonna solve the pain that Ray J feels about Whitney's death. And I think it's more to it than what we know, because he was involved. He was allegedly there hours, if not minutes, before she passed away. They were allegedly together that day or that evening. So to me, the pain I saw on his face had nothing to do with no princess love. He said he loved his children. He's going to be a good father to his children. And I believe that. But the pain Ray J is carrying for Whitney and the love he carrying for Kim Kardashian, I don't think it's nothing. Look, that's just my prediction. Just my opinion. That's just my assumption. We all have, you know what they say when you assume. That's just how I feel about that. So I don't know. So Ray J, my plea to you is, if you don't feel comfortable going to a counselor to talk about Whitney, if you don't feel safe, you got to find somebody you can release this stuff to, because you are headed for destruction if you don't. If you're sleeping with all these women and all that stuff like that, it's not going to take the pain away. Writing it on a balloon and lifting it up to the air, it's not going to take the pain away. You need somebody to talk to. You need prayer. You need the Lord. You need comfort. You need your heart healed. And if you still love Kim, look, she might still care about you. Who knows? She's divorced now. Reach out to her. Princess, I love you, and I hope that you find someone that, because I don't know if they're all the way divorced now or not. I haven't even looked deeper in their relationship to see if Ray J or Princess is even divorced yet, because they could be another Safari and Erica. One moment they divorce and one moment they back together. One moment they divorce and one moment they back together. You don't never know. But I hope that if you are going to or go your separate ways. Princess, I wish you the very best. And I hope you find someone that deserves you and that loves you and will take care of you, because you've been hurt and you really need it. And I don't think Ray J meant to hurt you intentionally. Ray J is hurting. He's holding stuff in that he can't tell anybody. He doesn't trust you to tell you what's going on with him. So that's why he can't tell you. I don't know if he could tell Sonya or not. I don't think he want to make her sick, because sometimes when you tell your mom stuff, your mama had to hold her face till you leave. Like I do with my boys when they tell me stuff, I be like, don't tell me. Like when my ex-husband calls me to tell me something about the boys, I be like, how bad is it first before you tell me? Because some things I just don't even want to know. You know what I'm saying? And Sonya might don't want to hear that. So that boy needs somebody he could talk to, that he could trust. And honey, this old song says, the old gospel song is tell it to Jesus, because he won't tell nobody else. Okay, that's my show for today, guys. Again, happy Memorial Day. Shout out to all the troops. Across all the military branches, we do thank you for supporting our country, to keeping us safe. Please tune in to my Spotify show Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where I do more of a self-motivation on my journey show. But I'm here on YouTube Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So I'll see you again Thursday, and just unless it's some bigger tea and I have to come on tomorrow. But thank you all for tuning in. If you're just tuning into my channel and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button, and ring that bell so you can always know when I'm on. I love you all. Good evening to some, good morning, and good afternoon to others. Smooches. Bye-bye.